Yes, there's quite a few ways of doing this that makes it cheap. Let's go have a look at the highest budget. Did anyone else do it without foundations? Oh, look at that. Look at that. I mean, there's lots of foundations in the middle. Look at the pillar. That is amazing. That's a £1,000,000 bridge. Love to see that. Sub to CE. Oh, RCE. It's me. Sub to me. It's the Nifty sponsored solution. Nifty, not only the world's premier propaganda, but also the world's premier tea. Warning, Nifty may not actually be the premier tea. Anyway, then we got this one by Builder Basti. What what? Hang on. We'll restart that. What did that? I can't even see what that says. This is a I'm not sure what that is. Something. And then in the shadow, I can sort of see ing. And that looks like devil. I don't know. You need to zoom in if you want me to read it, man. But... Then we got all of those as well. Nice. Next one. Oh, look at that RCE propaganda. If I could build a bridge like in real life, I'd probably literally have it like that. That is what I'm talking about. This one. Oh, look, someone else did an arch. Oh, I thought that was a clock on top, but it's actually someone's face who's... Oh, why is he unhappy? You big old bridge boy. Turn that frown upside down. But yeah, this arch, they do actually use foundations in the middle still. So I don't think that anyone can... Why did they make them move across? Oh, dear. Yeah, I don't think anyone else did this without a foundation. So surely for that, I deserve some sort of credit, right? Oh, look, someone did the fourth bridge. A cantilevered bridge. That's a really good that's like better than the one I did in my Real Bridges series. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That, ladies and gents, is what us in the engineering world call a BILF bridge. I would love to fabricate. We've also got a suspension bridge. Oh, these are wicked. We've got really, really long truss bridge with loads of foundations. Oh no, someone else did do it. Someone did it without foundations. Yes, in your face foundations. But I think it was only me and that guy that did it. Look at the truss work on that. Ooh, the triple arch. Oh, no. Sorry, quadruple arch. My apologies. Man, so many cool bridges on this one. This is like... Wait, RCE, don't pause at the right time. RCE, don't you see you got me playing Poly Bridge 3? I mean, you're welcome or apologies. Anyway, nice work of efficient engineering over this side. What is going on there? Why? Why so lumpy? Oh, man, this has got to be my favorite gallery I've ever seen. There's just so much cool stuff. So much variety. Oh, that's another one that doesn't use foundations, and it's all wood. Ironically, their name is stone as well. This one, it's it's an underwater bridge. Oh, look, another one. A huge arch. I did actually think about doing like a road arch, but that was way cheaper than mine. Fair play. Wait, what the... What? What? How? What? How? I'm confused. Someone's got an RGB bridge. Anyway, that was amazing, but let's go on to the final level of this world. It's called Tri-Line. So we've got 3 vehicles, and they all go at once. So what's going on here? You've got to just get to the middle. So yes, push. Do a bit of a tall truss, I reckon. All right, so that would have been fine if the blue car didn't fall on top. So that's one sorted. Then we've just got to get that blue car over to that blue flag, and then this van over to there. And remember, there's going to be a vehicle where that flag is, so we can't really drive across this island like with that or with the blue. So if we do a straight line from there over to there, fill that in with a road, then we should just be able to attach to our bridge above for this one. Fairly easy. But then down here, it gets a little bit trickier. I feel like probably going up is the best thing to do. So let's push the road in for that top one. And then hopefully we can get away with, yeah, doing the old squares. So I know we can make this cheaper fairly easily, but I won't for now. I think we'll just try and truss this all the way along. And then we need to work out what other supports we need. I imagine we'll need like a wall brace down there. If we press play. Oh boy. Yeah, oh, surprising. It was you that broke. Interesting. Let's just turn the stress on. Oh yeah, that's taking like all the weight basically. So the ones above probably just as bad. No. Oh, that worked. We are at 60 grand of our 82 grand budget though, which puts us in the top 35%. Not great. What did Ty... Oh, he's 26th in the world. I got to save 20 grand. 20 grand. Now, the reason I sort of like the look of this is because I'm pretty sure I can go around and just delete all of these middle pieces. Like, it looks dodgy, but I think it should be okay. So yeah, still holding and actually stronger than before, I think, because there's less weight. So I'm already into the top 16%. I imagine because our bridge weighs less, I can swap that with wood. Nice. And then it's just a case of how do I make this as cheap as possible? Like, do I need bits like that? Oh, yes, turns out I do. Well, I don't with a bit of tweaking. Okay, that worked. I still need to save 12 grand. 12. For context, if I were to delete all of that, that is 12 grand. So basically, I think I need to share some road in order to do this for cheap. So what I mean by that is, like, I could probably get rid of a lot of those bits of road. If I were to, say, bring the road up to there, and then just swap that to make it like a bit of a cat flap. The sticking point here will be, oh goodness, hang on, let's just steal this all up so it doesn't break. But yeah, if that road is too steep, then we can't get out. So make these a bit flatter, lift that up there. What I'm hoping happens is that drives across, and then that, oh, it doesn't have the power. Maybe cat flap is not the way to do this. But I was thinking this truck could then drive along this bit of bridge and then drop down. I mean, or I could probably, if I got rid of like that, I could probably bring this down, potentially have that car drop onto the road. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Okay. Maybe sharing roads isn't the way to do this. So let's just undo pretty much everything I did. And then instead, I guess, oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm thinking if I just make all these like way closer together, that's going to use a lot less material. I'm just going to be sort of a bit trapped by the height. I mean, to be fair, we're under 50 grand just by doing that. And look, there's a lot of headroom we can shave. I mean, we can probably do similar with this. If we lift this one up, it's going to be so much less material. We've just got to make sure there's headroom for that. Okay, well, yeah, let's try doing this for now. I feel like I've made like one of those finger traps. Thankfully, our camper van is not getting trapped though. Oh, there's potential here. There is definitely potential. So if I bring all these down, that's cheaper again. Likewise, bring these up. That's going to be cheaper as well. Right, so then it's just a case of, can I remove any of these pieces? Like, do I need all these triangles? It's pretty secure. Oh, headroom. So you need to go a little bit higher. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to be sort of heading across, trying to lower these as much as possible to use less material. But let's just see, where can we lose some materials? So I'm thinking like that bit. If I get this piece perfectly straight, then I can probably lose that and that, because that just becomes like a wooden rope. Yeah, so that worked fine. Then likewise, I could probably lose a lot of that and just dangle like from the road above. Is that going to work? Oh, no. Why did you break? Hang on, I should probably turn the stress on for this. Try and see what is going on. Oh, tiny little tweak. Fixed it. Lovely. So now this bottom bridge is like way cheaper. I wonder, could I swap that with the same thing? Yeah, that works. That works fine. I assume I definitely need... Yeah, I mean, I could... If I get the angle right, I could probably lower that and raise that so that this can't bend downwards. Oh, that nearly works. That actually nearly works. Oh, no, that broke. Why did you break? Okay, that's good. So that bottom piece looks dodgy as anything, but actually... pretty secure. See, there's a lot of stress down that bit, so you probably want to keep all of those. But I'm sort of thinking like up here, I could probably do something similar. I'll need to make sure the nodes there are like supported in a truss, but like I could probably lose like that piece because that's still got the main support there. It's got support for that. Oh, no, I completely messed that one up. So if I did want to remove that, yeah, it makes that move. Okay, so I think the only other thing I could do, if I lower that and put a vertical in, I just got to check the headroom is okay. So does that fit under verticals? Yeah, it does. So that will allow me to remove the odd piece. Actually, quite a big chunk. Ooh, okay. So like this is going to be the finicky end though. I may do this end first. Let's see what we can shave over here. So I reckon same thing in terms of doing the rope cable. Yeah, that's fine. And then it's just, how can I shave some of these? So I know removing one piece, sometimes it should be fine. Oh man, sometimes it just isn't though. Oh, what about this support? Yeah, could I try and make it just like that? So only supporting one node. Is that bad. Sort of. No, that's good. That's good. Okay, we're down to 42 grand, and I haven't really started shaving too much. I am sort of wondering, though, which... Yeah, okay, so that's too close. I want to try and remove some of these without it flexing too much like that. So it's just a case of trying to pick which ones can be removed. Okay, so that's fairly good. Still got to save 2 grand, which basically means I need to start removing more pieces. Now, we got quite a few triangles underneath, so could I remove something up here, like potentially these two, to make that another rope? Or all seems to be working. It looks dodgy, but I think it's working. Can I do the same with those two? I'm going to imagine not, but it might work. No, definitely not. I got to save another grand. I need to remove more pieces. That's all I can do. I'm wondering, my vertical solution earlier, can I use that to my advantage somehow? If I raise that and connect those, will that allow me to remove some pieces? Oh, it makes things way worse. What if I do it between these two supports? So you get rid of that, raise that up. No. Well, I'm 54th in the world, which ain't too bad, but still a lot more expensive than Tyler. How did he do it? So how did these people? 23 grand. Okay, there must be some like serious cheesage going on. I feel like you can probably dangle that. I'm not going to be doing cheeses. Okay, so I've come up with a few ideas. I feel like this is probably the best chance to work. So I've gone back to my original design with like as fewer bridges as possible. And look, I've got this up here, which makes him fall down onto this road. We then need to hold this back, but also put a ramp above it. Now, I can't get it to work, but I feel like you either put a ramp on this, or if I go back a little bit, yes, this is hours and hours of tweaking. Look, I had a little bridge up there, which I feel like if it stopped braking, that might allow the blue car to come up, and then as the weight goes on there, that would allow this car out underneath, because otherwise these guys just crash into each other, which is not great. But yeah, I reckon that's probably how you do it, like out of wood, because that would be below 40 grand. The thing is though, I'm just going to stick with my cheapest bridge. So 41,411, that is what we look like. I'm intrigued to see the gallery and see what the cheapest solutions were, because there were like 20 grand ones, weren't there? So lowest budget, 24 grand. Oh wow. Okay, that's pretty much what I had. But look, they've even stopped the skip van. So blue car goes, then skip van goes. Yeah, it's all about just trying to cheese your way to like stop vehicles going. So this next one is pretty similar to what I had. Yeah, look down there. Yeah, as the car comes up, it allows the camper van through. Again, that one held back the skip van. All about reducing the number of bridges. This one, actually, that's pretty much what I was aiming for. Although, no. Look, the blue car goes last on this version. This one's actually exactly how I was going to do it, although slightly different setups and stuff. But yeah, look, so as long as you can get that bridge not to work, it does act as a cat flap. See, I knew how to do it cheap. I just didn't have the skills. Again, similar with that one. Car on top lifts up the flap to allow that through. This one, the skip van becomes part of the bridge. Look at that. Using other vehicles as bridges. Genius. Yeah, this one, yeah, it's pretty much what I was trying to get to work. I just couldn't. And much cheaper ways of getting the car down as well. Fair play, everyone. Anyway, it's not been a good day, so let's head to the highest end of the budget. Cheer myself up with a bit of, it says hi, Paddy. That's hello to my dog. Oh, Paddy says hi back. Thank you, 10-gallon arse hat. Right, what have we got here? It's the Nifty sponsored solution. They use loads of weights everywhere. Nifty, the only tea that gets you hench by using weights. It's not fair that people can just like shaft their way through, whereas I struggle. I appreciate the propaganda though. Look at that. Cable stayed bridge. RCE propaganda necklace. This one, RCE is a ride the pipe. It's not the day for that, man. I've had a bad day with this. I thought my day couldn't get any worse, and then I get called an architect. Cheers, mate. Right, at least... At least this one has loads of swinging faces. More RCE propaganda. And the vertical RCE propaganda and a giant elephant's face. That's what I felt like building at the end. Just truss it up till it doesn't break. Look at the cable stage from Puddin. They love a cable stay bridge. We got the Kiwi. Wait, I said none of your propaganda. RCE propaganda only, please. Thank you. This guy understands. I can clearly see. Oh my goodness, they made their bridge out of squares. You can't do that. You can't do that. But anyway, with that done, we've completed all of the lava lagoon, unbreaking and under... Oh no. I may have to go back to foundations level to complete that. But for now, I'll say peace, love, and bridges. Bye, guys.
Today we're watching the All Advancements World Record. You might know this speedrun because Illumina did it, had the world record in it.
If you're like me, Steam is for games.
Dory Catsley.
Everything else is just...
Looky.
Hey, what's up?
Dory Catsley.
Oh yeah, Dory
Who
Catsley.
decided to come back.
I know it's probably not fuck, ideal for me to only stream every second week, but it's more convenient for me, so yeah. Look
Dory
who I
Catsley.
got.
Yeah. Dory Catsley. Excuses.
Got this little bugger in here. It's a pain in the ass to get him.
Dory
up there.
Catsley. And also what's up? The ceiling.
Is there string in there? Can't tell. Yeah, there. Okay. So I've got my zombie. Got my villagers, sort of. Now all I need is the villagers to bang on a bunch of times.
Dory Catsley.
Oops.
How are you, Roach? How's the long hiatus?
It was 1 week. It was good. I was pretty sick though. Other than that, it was good.
Dory Catsley. Felt like a year. Dory Catsley. WDYMMM.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The way it So the way this works is pretty simple. Villagers will breed, villagers will come down here.
Dory Catsley. I don't even know.
Yeah. And the villagers come down here, minecart them, killed by a zombie. I mean, I trade with them, and then they get killed by the zombie. They go down into one of these thingamajigs. Oops. And then I'll have 70 zombie villagers, which will mean I'll have a mob switch, and I can turn it on and off. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Dory Catsley. AHHES the economy.
Sure. Now all I need is a bunch of carrots or other villager food. And probably some vines or something so they don't just get entity cramming and kill themselves. That'd be kind of inconvenient. Wonder if I've got more carrots anywhere.
Dory Catsley. I would too if I'm forced against my will.
What? Suffocate to death? If you're forced against your will. Anyway. Doesn't seem like the greatest of great ideas.
Dory Catsley. Yes.
You do you, man, I guess. Have I got any vines?
Dory Catsley. Really had the audacity to go around those poor villager, huh? Dory Catsley. The audacity not like this.
Yeah. I did have the audacity to do whatever you're saying. Shit. There was a jungle somewhere, but I don't remember where it was. Don't know if I... Well, that'll be it. Will that be a jungle? Yeah, probably. 616225. Okay. I forgot I found a jungle temple.
Dory Catsley. Anyways, I got to go. May you trip and step on a Lego. Dory Catsley. Peace, baguette bread.
Screw you. I don't want to step on Lego. Ash. Trying to be tapped out for too long.
Just annoying window dressing that needs to stay out of my way so I can get to my games. But every once in a while, it is nice to stop and appreciate the curtains, isn't it? Especially when Valve worked so darn hard on them. In the few short weeks since our last Steam video, they have completely overhauled the user interface with some mind-blowing new features, and you guys also flagged a bunch of other awesome things that Steam can do that we, well, totally missed last time. Also, for those of you who make it to the end, I do have some constructive feedback for the team at Valve this time. Oh, and I also have a message from our sponsor. SolidWorks. Their 3D experience SolidWorks for makers delivers professional grade design tools for your hobbies, personal projects, and more. Check them out at the link down below. First up is the star of the show, the new and improved in-game overlay, which some of you might think of as that thing that opens when I accidentally hit Shift Tab, but guys, that changes today, because if you are not using this now, you are not gaming properly, friends. On top of prettifying up the existing overlay components, like the game guide window and screenshot manager, Valve has added some entirely new features. Like this one, this awesome notes tool that lets you take game-specific notes that will synchronize to the cloud so they're accessible across all of your devices. Like, every game should have this, and now, thanks to Steam, they do. They also massively improved the built-in web browser with snappier performance, and most importantly, for my fellow ADHDers, they've added the ability to pin it on top of your gaming session so that you can watch your favorite streamer, or a video walkthrough, or anything you want while you play. You can even tweak the opacity to ensure that you don't get snacked up on from behind some boring video from Michael Reeves. Now, pinning isn't available for every overlay window, but it does work for the ones you'd care about, like guides, achievements, and notes. What an absolute game changer. This customization comes courtesy of the slick new icon bar that also adds instant access to Steam input and some other crucial mid-session settings. Valve has also given the whole Steam interface a fresh coat of paint, unifying the experience across desktop, Steam Deck, and Big Picture. They've tweaked fonts, colors, UI elements, and the backend to help keep all of those interfaces a little more aligned moving forward. One of the best places to see the changes is the settings interface, where things look pretty different from last time. The storage manager that we highlighted is now easily accessed with its own menu item, and we get way more granular control of notifications with the ability to choose what shows up on mobile, what appears as a pop-up toast notification on the desktop, and what just gets sent to the notifications drop-down to die a slow and painful death. And hey, while we're in settings, did you know you can limit your download speeds to stop Steam from bringing Mom's Netflix grinding to a halt? It's right there under downloads. So easy. And if you have bandwidth to spare, you can also set Steam to continue downloading games while you're playing. I wouldn't configure this while you're doing anything intensive, but if you just want to kill time with something light while you're waiting, it's a great option. Speaking of which, did you know how easy it is to test new features before they come out? Under Interface, just click Client Beta Participation and you will immediately get access to upcoming versions of the Steam client. This is also available for individual games too, though developers don't always use this feature the same way. Some ignore it outright, no beta for you. Others do use it for public testing, and I was delighted to find out that Beat Games actually uses it to provide players with access to older versions of Beat Saber. That allows you to keep using your existing mods when a new version of the game comes out and breaks everything. So awesome! While we're in the library, are you taking advantage of dynamic collections? This feature's been around for a while now, but I am surprised at how few of my friends around the office are using it. Just click the little icon here, define your parameters, let's say co-op games with controller support that we both own and haven't played yet, and there it is. The overwhelming text tsunami is now a digestible list that puts to an end once and for all. What do you want to play? I don't know, what do you want to play? And if we click Save as a dynamic collection, it is permanently added to the lists in the left panel. No more choice paralysis. The coolest part is that any new game that fits those parameters gets automatically added to the list. Dynamic collections are also available as a shelf that we can select and organize on the library home screen. We can also sort our shelves, by the way, by Steam reviews, Metacritic scores, and achievements completed, which, we have some work to do on those. But not till later. First, there's a bunch more stuff I want to mention about the library. Let's just pull up the all games shelf and, ooh. You know how some games haven't bothered to update their cover art to fit the new Steam library's dimensions? Well, no matter, we can simply replace their artwork with our own. Right-click, manage, set custom artwork, and you can pick any JPEG or PNG that you like. It even supports animations, though that might get old pretty fast. While we were doing that, you guys might have noticed another interesting option in there. But Hide This Game isn't just for keeping your kids out of your naughty game collection. It's also great for weeding out games that happened to be an amazing bargain in a Humble Bundle, but realistically, you're never gonna touch. Then, if you're really bored and looking for something, please, anything to do, all you've gotta do is go to View, Hidden Games, and you can see the collection. By the way, your kids probably know about that, so none of this is a substitute for actual parenting. One last thing in the library though. I'm pretty sure we've mentioned bulk uninstalling games before, but a similar method works for installing games. Just control select your games, right click, install selected, pick a path, and you're done. While that's running, why don't we take a peek at the friends list for a second? Sad. But let's imagine that we did have some friends. One of my favorite features is being able to set nicknames. Every group has that one person who is constantly changing their Steam handle, and that's cool, you be you. But at the same time, I'd much rather look at my list and see Mom rather than CougarMilf_420. Nicknames, frankly, are an essential feature and they should be supported absolutely everywhere. And the same goes for this next one. Why is it that Steam asks me to verify my age every time I open a store page? I should be able to do that once, and it should remember it. And while the fix isn't an official Steam feature, rather it's an open source Chrome extension called Augmented Steam, but it does exist and it is super cool. To the point where covering Augmented Steam would probably require its own video, but we can at least run through some of the main stuff. It includes current and historical pricing, including from other regions and from third-party stores. It's got high-vis flagging of third-party DRMs like Denuvo. It's got a ton of added customization for the store and the search pages, like removing annoying developer live streams, adding a view in library button, and highlighting owned and wishlisted games. It's got better filtering when browsing, and a bunch of quality of life features for community market users. Now, naturally, Valve doesn't officially support or endorse Augmented Steam, but they don't appear to be doing anything to block it, at least for now, and it's open source, so the code can be scrutinized by the community. So if the reviews and the user base are anything to go by, I'd say it's worth at least giving a try. For these next two, I'm not gonna say too much, but if they're useful for you, you know who you are, and you're gonna love them. We're gonna have links in the description so you can learn more. First is Steam Command, that's Steam CMD, which is the command line version of the Steam client. It is great for running dedicated game servers. Say, for example, you wanted to run a persistent Valheim world for your buddies without being logged in 24/7. Steam Command is the way to do it. The second quickie here is Steam Cafe, which is fantastic if you're setting up a school gaming club, a VR center, or an internet cafe. You can get special commercial licenses for hundreds of games that are accessible on every station in your LAN and all manageable through a single account. We actually use Steam Cafe here in our gaming center in our employee lounge. How about something sneaky for our next one? Did you know you can use Steam Remote Play to remote control your whole PC, not just games? Valve doesn't officially allow it, but it is surprisingly easy to do. Just add a program like Notepad as a non-Steam game on your host computer, then stream that app on a remote Steam client. It's gonna look like we're trapped in the Notepad window, but we're actually not. Just click on the File menu, then press the left arrow key to get the icon menu where we can minimize Notepad, et voila! We are now controlling the remote desktop. It's not a fully featured remote desktop client, and I can't speak to the security or lack thereof, but the latency is super low, and it even has cool features like following around your cursor if you move on to a different display. It also looks great. Speaking of security, by the way, have you ever reviewed what devices are signed into your Steam account? I'm betting you haven't, because Valve makes it a real pain in the butt to do so. If you go looking for this feature in the desktop or the web client, the closest you're gonna come is the nuclear option, where you just sign out everything. But if you take out your phone and fire up the Steam app, not the chat one, the one with SteamGuard, click the little shield icon, and then on the even littler settings button in the bottom right corner, lo and behold, there it is, an authorized devices button down at the bottom. It works exactly like you'd expect, and why an important security feature like this is hidden away in the mobile app, I have absolutely no idea. Oh, and since I know you're watching, by the way, Valve, there's some other stuff that I kinda can't fathom. Can we talk about the new big picture interface for a sec? With one click of the shoulder buttons, I used to be able to jump right into my library. Now, that does nothing. And then, wasn't it left stick to get into the menu of all the, the library and store and everything? That does nothing too. Now, I just mash buttons on my controller and, oh, okay, up is search. I guess I'll hit A. Suddenly, half the screen is keyboard. I can hear you guys already. It's supposed to be like that. It's like the Steam Deck interface, Linus, ya dummy. But why? A 7-inch and a 70-inch display are completely different scenarios. It's not like I'm gonna get right up to my TV and start stabbing at letters with my new stubby screwdriver from LTTstore.com. And again, I hear you. Linus, you just have to hit the menu button. Are you blind? Well, first off, what if I am? Don't judge. And second, that is 3 interactions for what used to be 1. And then, once you get to the library, well, hey, this is good. At least the shoulder buttons actually do something again. But I can't say the same about the new store, where you've got the exact same bar of buttons at the top of the screen, but the shoulder buttons don't do anything. You have to navigate there with the D-pad. What the heck, you guys? With that said, the store is better than it used to be. But there are still some big problems here. The little help bar at the bottom tells me to hit Y to filter, but that doesn't appear to do anything at all. You just gotta navigate to the right side instead. And also, hitting B for back. That wasn't working for the writer of this video. It would just hop between the 2 windows on either side. But then, for me, the Xbox button wouldn't bring up the menu at all, and I had to use B, and it did go back to the main screen. What is with this inconsistency? It's like, why does the filtering mechanism work completely differently in the library? It's like each section was made by a different team, and none of them have ever even had lunch with each other. I mean, I know Valve has an unorthodox internal structure, but come on, guys, I'm rooting for you. Which is why I'm not gonna nitpick at all the other little things and highlight the fact that overall, Valve has done a pretty good job with Steam over the years. I'm sure you guys are gonna love some of the new features we've talked about, and I have faith that they're gonna get these kinks worked out eventually. It's just a matter of someone over there maybe flying up from New Zealand and taking ownership and making it happen. Just like I'm making this segue happen to our sponsor, SolidWorks. Calling all makers, hobbyists, and tinkerers. You can get the...
Would you try this Chinese street food? The rocks are seasoned with chili, garlic, purple perilla, and rosemary. The dish is known as suodayo, meaning suck and throw away. The dish goes for 16 yuan, $2.30.
So I guess you could say we've hit rock bottom. Ow! Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I admit I've got a problem with dad jokes. Stop throwing those things. That is perfectly good food you're wasting. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, where today we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. A recent viral trend coming out of China shows chefs and street vendors cooking up rocks. Yeah, apparently this is a tradition that dates back hundreds of years. Pebbles are collected, cleaned, and then cooked with herbs, spices, and vegetables. Obviously, or hopefully, obviously, you're not actually supposed to eat the rocks. You're just supposed to suck on them for the flavor and then throw them away. Then again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. If you do want to swallow them, well, that's your call. I mean, I've heard of kidney stones before, but this is getting ridiculous. Okay, I'll stop with the bad dad jokes. You guys are just stone cold. So what prompted the internet to start gnawing on gneiss? Well, stir-fried rocks, or more appropriately known as Sio Dieu, that's too French. Sio Dieu, please have Google pronounce this one for me.
Suodio.
Yeah, there we go. Originated in the Chinese province of Hubei, a province often referred to as the land of fish and rice. Though there's very little written record of this thing, we know the dish was invented by boatmen who took little rocks off the bottom of rivers where they'd collected sediment and natural flavoring from the wildlife in the water. Yeah, you heard that right. We're talking about the natural flavors of whatever the heck was lying down at the bottom of the river. Over time, these river stones just naturally developed a fishy taste that was then enhanced when you fried the rocks at a high heat. Smother them all in sauce, garlic, ginger, veggies, and fats to absorb the rock's flavor, then you suck on each one to get that aromatic seafoody taste. TikTok lately has been on fire about these things, and for a number of reasons that you can probably guess. The first obvious one being that it's not every day that you see street vendors pancake flipping pebbles for the tourists. I've actually been to the street markets of Beijing and Shanghai, but this would seriously stand out among the crowd. Besides just being unusual though, the bigger question on people's minds with stir-fried rocks is why? Why is this a trend at all? Is this real? Are people being serious about this? And if so, could this food trend actually have itself any sort of staying power? Well, the answer to all these questions is a resounding yes. And not only could stir-fried rocks be around for a long time, you might just be looking at the next high-end, exquisite food craze that's about to sweep the globe. Yeah, sweep the globe sounds like it's a bold claim from some guy on the internet and some rocks frying in a pan. I get that. You might even be saying, MatPat, that's impossible. Do you even know where this dish comes from? And yeah, I do. What a great segue to give you a little bit more exposition. As you might imagine, stir-fried rocks not really at the top of everyone's menu. Unsurprisingly, they were originally only consumed by fishermen in the Hubei region when there was literally no other food options available, which makes a lot of sense. You only start eating rocks as your absolute last resort. This also happened in a pre-industrialized era, and when motorboats eventually came to Hubei, it quickly reduced the chances of boatmen being stranded without supplies, at which point the dish just largely faded to obscurity. As far as the modern revival of stir-fried rocks goes, reactions to this thing online have been varied. From all the lulls about getting your rocks off,
This is ridiculous.
No thanks. I don't know.
But this is not a food.
to people having strong reactions to TikTokers exploiting this dish for clout, since it was actually a dark part of China's history with famines. Now, I'm not here to theorize about the dish from any kind of local perspective. We're just here to talk about what makes it unique and what makes it the latest in a long line of popular food trends. You see, it turns out that this dish could be an incredibly interesting food to watch over time now that it's re-entered public awareness, specifically because of its history as a famine food. Yeah, that is a real food category. It includes dishes that have originated in countries all across the globe in moments of extreme hunger or food shortage. And while it sounds weird, hang with me, because these are some of the most ingenious, creative foods on the face of the earth. They also happen to be some of the most expensive. Just to be clear here, I don't mean survival foods like the cans of creamed corn stored down in your mom's garage, or those 200 gallons of potable water that your Uncle Steve keeps in his nuclear bunker. These are foods that people have made or foraged for when they've been stuck for long periods of time in really inhospitable places all across the world. The thing about these foods is that weirdly, many of them won't sound like famine foods when I start listing them off. A lot of them will seem just like regular food that you've seen on menus pretty frequently across the US. For instance, you can probably guess that Irish people had to forage to stay alive during the Irish potato famine in the 1800s, but you might be surprised by one of the major famine foods that they discovered discovered through this process: seaweed. Nowadays, you'd never bat an eye at seeing seaweed show up at a high-end menu or a sushi bar in the US, but at the beginning of the 1800s, Europeans had no context that this could be used as food. Another example: during the last humanitarian crisis in Cambodia, Cambodians ate scorpions and tarantulas to survive because they sometimes had nothing else to eat. But you've probably heard of those before. In fact, you might have seen scorpions and tarantulas for years on travel shows like Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern, since they're now considered a delicacy in all of Southeast Asia and are widely available at the local street markets, the same type of street markets where we see stir-fried rocks. Think the US is exempt from all this? Think again. The indigenous Algonquins from the region that's now the US Northeast were known for eating pine tree bark in the winter when they ran out of food. Nowadays, restaurants in that region offer spruce tips in their expensive dishes. Spoiler alert, it's weird, it's very floral, it's not great, but hey, it's there, it still lives on, and it's expensive. And you probably think nothing of seeing cactus fries or mushroom burgers on a menu in the US, but cactus and mushroom, again, were originally consumed only as a desperate last resort and weren't originally considered to be food. And this, friends, is just the tip of the iceberg. Nowadays, a massive number of expensive food was all once food for the poorest members of society. Lobster, once considered to be the cockroach of the sea, these things now go for hundreds of dollars around the world. Oysters, literally the snot rocks of the ocean, now perched on top of golden seafood platters and showered with money. So what the heck is happening here? How did these foods go from, well, I'll eat them because I have literally nothing else to eat, to a national treasure that costs hundreds of dollars? Well, there are a few schools of thought for this, and let me be clear, this isn't some sort of new revelation. Economists and food scientists alike have studied this phenomenon for decades. They have a few theories, food theories of their own, on why the shift happened. The first is a nutritional cause. Sometimes desperate measures get people to put things in their mouths that they wouldn't normally, and in the process they accidentally discover something that's really good for you. Way to go, humanity! Look at us, blind squirrels just accidentally finding a bunch of nuts. So, while you and my 5-year-old might not believe that mushrooms should be food, the fact is they're high in vitamin D and the B vitamins, and that might be hard to get from other sources depending on where you live. Same goes with things like cactus, which is full of fiber and vitamin C, insects, which are full of protein, seaweed, which is easy to get, cheap, and a solid source of antioxidants. But there's another big factor at play here. The other phenomenon that's elevating all these famine foods appears to be something that's been roughly termed the cost of authenticity. In recent decades, food has gotten much faster. It's gotten much more convenient. It's also gotten a whole lot more blurry when it comes to what's considered authentic. Since the rise of fast food and a whole lot of who asked for this fusion dishes, it's felt harder and harder to get real food from the real places that they originate. In a lot of areas of the world where famine foods came from, the dishes were invented because people had barely anything to eat, but they did have another resource available to them: time. They had enough time to forage. They had the time to hunt for that one obscure thing in their environment that they could eat. They had the time that was necessary to get every last molecule of nutrition out of that ingredient. A great example of this is bouillabaisse from France, which started as a poverty broth made from fish scraps. Fishermen would literally take the fish scraps and guts that were left over at the end of the day and make it into a soup by boiling it for just a heck of a long time to get the most flavor and nutrition out of it. Today, bouillabaisse has evolved into a major delicacy. It can run you $75 at a real authentic French restaurant. The reason is because while now we have more money to spend on food and more ability to obtain food, we don't have the time to spend cooking dishes like this for ourselves. The only way to get a real bouillabaisse is to cook it for hours and hours. But in today's modern global society, we are time poor. So instead of being food poor, we're now entering a type of poverty where we're too busy to make the food that's considered real and authentic. Other familiar examples for you might be Vietnamese pho, another dish that can take over 10 hours to make, zuppa de pêche from Italy, paella in Spain, ramen broth in Japan, and even bread made from scratch, which we all found out the hard way back in 2020. Any of you still making bread at home now that it's post-pandemic? Almost no one is, because now that we can leave the house, we're too time poor to prioritize doing that sort of stuff for ourselves. But I hear you saying, Matt, Pat, you dummy, stir-fried rocks can't become a delicacy. First of all, they're not good for you. They are rocks, so that doesn't meet criteria 1 of our list here. We didn't find something that was miraculously nutritious for us, we just made rocks taste like food before we spit them out again. And yeah, that is true. I hear you on that. So what about criteria 2 and the time cost? Well, it might be true that gathering rocks from a riverbed is a time-intensive process. Stir-fried rocks, probably not one of those dishes that requires you to slave over a broth all day. Just pop in the old rocks into the fryer and add a bunch of seasoning. So stir-fried rocks cannot be one of those foods that catches on because it doesn't fit either of those 2 criteria, right? Wrong. What if I told you that stir-fried rocks can go global even though they're not good for you or time-intensive? And what if I told you that this isn't the first time that we've seen it happen? Let me introduce you to a little Italian dish called pasta ai sassi, a famine dish from the southwest coast of Italy. The name pasta ai sassi means pasta with sea stones, stones. And if you think they're talking about real stones, well yeah, you'd be right. In times of fish shortages, or when rough sea conditions in the Mediterranean made it impossible to leave the shore, locals would add rocks from the sea to their pans, alongside other ingredients and oil to seep all the flavor out of the rocks so you got the semblance of seafood flavor. Over in Italy, they chose to remove the rocks before serving, so they really missed the quality rock sucking that could have been done there. Oh man, that's one of those quotes that's gonna live on and haunt me. Rock sucking. Great choice there, Matt. Anyway, just like the stir-fried rocks, the Italian version of the dish also faded from memory once motorized travel became a thing. And much like our Chinese counterpart, it didn't stay away forever. It made a comeback and is now served in the region again, but with one small substitution. The recipe still calls for rocks, except now those rocks are actually mollusks, like clams and mussels. With this one evolution from hard thing in my pasta to other hard thing in my pasta, the dish manages to get the same sea flavor. Even as someone who likes shellfish, it's pretty easy to agree that clams and mussels, they're just little mouthfuls of seawater anyway, so the dish becomes more edible while retaining the original spirit. And just like most seafood dishes, it's gonna cost you a pretty penny, a far cry from the famine food that it began as. And this is where I think stir-fried rocks are destined to find their legacy. Clearly the dish is onto something because people are literally willing to lick rocks and then spit them out just to have a taste of the seasoning and the flavor around it. It seems reasonable then that the local recipe would eventually evolve to include something else in the local cuisine that provides a similar flavor profile and maintains the integrity and meaning of the food, but doesn't involve people actually sifting through mountains of river rocks anymore. Only time will tell, but don't be surprised if in a few years, stir-fried rocks lands on a menu near you and it costs way more than all of us can afford. But hey, when it feels like all you can do is cook up a bunch of rocks, and not the good kind, that's when today's sponsor, HelloFresh, comes in to save the day. No longer do you have to worry about running out of supplies and being forced to cook with whatever rocks happen to be lying around the kitchen. No sir, friends. With HelloFresh, all the freshest ingredients are delivered straight to your door. In fact, with HelloFresh, you have 40 weekly recipes to choose from. All you gotta do is pick your favorite, set a date, and skip some stones while they deliver everything you need right to your front door. All the ingredients are pre-portioned, so all the guesswork is taken out, and all you gotta do is follow the instructions for a quick and easy homemade meal. Plus, with everything being so easy with step-by-step instructions, it's a great way to cook with the family without the kitchen spiraling into complete chaos. I'll be on chopping duty, Steph will handle the pans. It gives us some much-needed time to catch up.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be watching the end of Season 5 of Steven Universe.
And if you want us to watch the movie and maybe even future, then get this video to 9,000 likes.
And you can access the uncensored and uncut version of this video on our Patreon linked at the top of the description, patreon.com/spoilingthemilk, and click the subscribe button because it helps us out a ton, and we'd love the support.
Are the crystal gems?
Okay, does Steven have his driver's license? Can we talk about this? He's like 15. I don't trust him as a driver.
He could get his permit, yeah.
But would you trust him as a driver? He's so short, his fucking feet can't reach the goddamn
Well, you
pedals.
see, the thing is, if he hits someone and kills them, he can just lick them.
I need a bed. What?
Oh, I love these little guys.
If this is One Piece, that would be a whole arc just about those little guys, the slaves.
They're uprising.
Diamond, pink, pink. Don't build stuff in my mouth.
He's getting assaulted by Smurfs right now.
The Smurfs, if they're all deformed, like they all have these disgusting little faces.
It's like the Smurfs are like, got like fucking cancer or some shit.
I'm only here because I'm bringing your things, and they consider me one of your things.
Yeesh.
I'd like to have Pearl as one of my things.
I would love that too.
Pink Diamond, my diamond has requested...
Yellow Diamond's Pearl has the most fucked up voice ever. Look at his fucking fit. He looks like Dire Wimpy Kid Greg over here, bro. Dude, I love Homeworld.
Bro, is that just their life? Like, they just live there?
They're gossiping and then they can't say anything.
Pink. Oh my goodness, that's so hot.
The Yellow Diamond sauna. Did Yellow Diamond go to the fucking Earth and find out what a sauna is, get that shit installed?
Can Gems experience, like, heat? She's sweating. There's so many questions here.
Stop! Don't ask any of them. I know what kind of question you're thinking of, and no, they don't have gem tampons.
I wasn't gonna ask that at all.
Already? Excuse me.
Ew, 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 ew. You can control your sweat? Bro, she's like the fucking cum bender, bro.
I drink it. Slurp, 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 glug, glug. How much for a cup?
Bro, chat is
Chat's
fucking
so down bad
funny.
tonight.
You haven't changed. So silly. So small.
I'm not done growing, trust me. I've got a few more inches in me. My dad said I'll hit my growth spurt soon.
Steven? It's such a funny sounding name. You're so creative, Pink.
Yikes. Don't dead name my boy, dude. Dude, that was 2 names ago for Steven, bro. Like, they're not even calling him Rose, man.
Oh yeah, that's a dead name's dead name.
That's a double dead name, bro. That's fucked.
Before her colony, Pink used to throw massive balls.
Massive balls. What? Say it again, Pearl. Say it again, but louder.
Massive balls.
Familiar. Why is this so familiar?
His voice. His voice is too good.
Where everybody wants me to be mom.
Everybody wants me to be daddy.
I can't be your mommy. I can't be your daddy.
And helping a struggling family.
Oh yes, the gay moment. Gay.
Gay as
Yes.
hell. Get him, gay
Yes.
boy. Get him,
Yes.
gay boy. Get him, gay boy.
Imagine you're watching Cartoon Network and your conservative father comes in and sees this. Is he beating your ass? Is he beating your ass?
Son, what's that Farrah doing on the goddamn screen?
Hi, Pearl. I just thought I'd dress for the occasion.
I'm sorry. Motherfucking looking goofy as hell.
You're not the only one with surprises.
What?
Yo.
How was Connie turned to a ball?
Pearl's head is very spacious.
I'm gonna throw a huge ball, and I'm gonna invite everyone.
He's gonna save them through the power of partying, dude. He's gonna get the diamonds fucked up. He's gonna spike the punch.
He's
and
gonna roofie the punch.
He's so gay. He's so gay.
And he's loving it. What is that neck? I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. But think of the possibilities. Huh? What? Excuse me?
Jesus fucking Christ, this is terrifying. Oh my God.
Steven, are you okay?
Yeah, just had a really weird nightmare.
They slept in the same bed. That's inappropriate. This is a children's show.
Okay.